Okay, it's happening now. Ready? Okay. Wow. You guys are gonna be shocked when you see the color of this chicken.
Hi, roosters.
Okay. Ready?
We're okay with spindrift in there. We support.
Yeah, I love spindrift.
Great. Okay. All right, we're ready.
You know, it doesn't matter how you hydrate as long as you're hydrating. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Home Movies. Welcome to Alison Roman Makes Dinner for the Boys. Tonight we're making grilled chicken. We're making a beautiful, gorgeous, golden, evenly cooked, juicy, deeply browned chicken on the grill. We're not gonna do it in parts, but we are gonna do it in halves. I'll tell you why later. We're gonna make like a really punchy, Vietnamese-ish inspired dressing for the chicken. It's gonna go on after the bird because I don't believe in marinating. Just gonna say it. It's a grilled chicken. And we're gonna grill some vegetables because if you have a fire, you should use it. We're also gonna have some rice. It's gonna be very crunchy, fresh, grilled, delicious dinner. This is like dog days of summer. This is like, it's hot. We're barely spending any time inside. A delicious pot of rice, other crunchy vegetables with this like really delicious limey, spicy dressing is to me the way I kind of want to eat all the time. So that's what we're gonna do. I am classically not that good at cooking rice. I do struggle. My friends have all tried to teach me. Thank you, Danny. Thank you, Susan. Thank you, Lauren. I couldn't have done this without you. I have finally figured it out. It's never perfect, but I get closer every time. They all sort of have a similar approach, which is to never measure and just go with your gut, which scares me, frankly, but it does not fail me. We'll do like the finger test. We're gonna cover it with enough water to where your finger, when touching the top of the rice, comes up to the first part of your finger here. And then I said, but Danny, all of our fingers are different lengths. And he goes, I don't know, it just works. And you know what? He was kind of right. This is like a cup and a half of rice. My friends don't measure, but I feel like I should be. Just because your friends do it doesn't mean you should do it. All right. There's some rice in this pot. This is not a recipe. This is not a video on how to cook rice. I'm just doing it. Okay. I'm just passing on what I know from the people who have taught me. But see, the water is like very milky. I guess what I'm saying is if I can do this, you can do this. You could probably do it better than me. And if you have a rice cooker, great. And if you ever think, boy, I don't want to do something because I don't want to look silly, then just imagine making rice on the internet when you're not confident in your ability. For so many people to weigh in on what you're doing and how you're doing it. And doing it with confidence. Because you know what? This is real vulnerability. What am I gonna not make rice in front of you because I'm afraid of what you're gonna say? No. What kind of lesson would that be? I'm just looking for a nice pot of rice. Oh, don't go in there. So what I mean by the finger test, I'm putting my finger to the top of the rice. See? To my line on my finger. I don't know. That's just what they say. They all say it. All my friends who make the best rice say it. I'm gonna add a little salt. All right, I'm gonna bring this to a wee boil and then reduce the heat to low with the lid on. So, anyway, thanks for coming to my rice video. If this rice doesn't turn out, I'll be mortified. Now comes the time we've all been waiting for, chicken time. This is a 4.3 pound chicken. I'm gonna sound 100 years old, but back in my day, the standard chicken measurement that we would give for like recipes was like 3.5 to 4 pounds. And now you simply can't find that. So now it's like definitely more like, I say like 4 to 5, but I know in my heart that it's probably gonna be 4.5 to 5.5. All right, here's your bird. Gorgeous, gorgeous chicken. I do think you should either be spatchcocking or cutting your chicken into halves, at the very least quarters. I don't think that grilling a whole chicken like this is doing anyone any favors. Don't be a hero. Take that spine out of your bird. If you have a butcher, they will take out for you, but I do think it's nice to know how to do it. See the butt? That's the butt. And the spine runs down from the neck to the butt. The bones are pretty easy to cut through actually. You need like a little bit of muscle. Go slowly and stay as close to that spine as possible. The second side is always a little trickier. Oop, my rice. Jerome, will you just turn this down to 1 and put the lid on? My rice is boiling. I'm going down to 1 because I know that my electric stove is very strong. And 1 is low, but still strong, so 1. Siri, will someone set a timer for 20 minutes? Okay, back to my chicken. This would be a good application for a cleaver, a knife I don't have. Sometimes you'll hit like a really strong bone. It's a crazy bone. Anyway, I took out the spine. You'll notice the ribs are still in play, which is good because it's gonna hold the rest of that meat in. I really love spatchcocking a whole chicken and then grilling it this way. I have found that often what happens is that it kind of wants to fall apart once it gets closer to being cooked. And it kind of wants to like cut itself here at the quarters. And I find that if you have it down the breast, it's easier to handle. You wanna like crack the breastbone open a little bit, like you're CPRing it. Press really firmly on that bone to like flatten it. So I'm gonna cut this in half down the breast. There's a cartilage that runs down the center and it's probably not likely that you're gonna nail it right perfectly down the center, so just do your best. And it's definitely more of a press than a slice, and you wanna like crack through all those bones, especially at that top, there's that wishbone, which is pretty strong. Okay, so now we have 2 halves of a chicken. Whenever I am doing a grilled chicken situation, I like to keep things as simple as possible and do any sort of like sauce or flavoring or spice situation very close to the end. I think that marinades tend to burn on the grill. So I'd rather like preserve the freshness of whatever it is flavor I'm trying to impart in the chicken and dress the chicken after it's come off the grill. Which is a really long way of saying I'm just gonna season this chicken with salt and pepper. Chicken always benefits from longer seasoning. So if you can salt your chicken in advance, I recommend it. This is also not to say that I don't sometimes just leave my chicken spatchcocked. I do. This is one of 100 ways to grill chicken. I will be oiling this chicken, but closer to the time where I take it to the grill. Cool. I'm gonna clean this up. I feel pretty strongly that if you're gonna spend the time to light a grill, especially by the charcoal do the whole thing, then you should make the best use of that charcoal. That doesn't mean you have to grill cabbage, but I'm going to. Throwing anything on there, I think is a really good idea to eat alongside the chicken, especially nice if people there don't eat meat. They can still enjoy the dressing and the rice and the herbs and the lettuces and da-da-da. Look how cute this cabbage is. This cabbage is really good. Some of the cabbage I'm gonna eat raw, like as a lettuce, so I'll keep that separate. And we have some nice herbs, basil, cilantro, shiso, and then some squash. Cucumbers we'll keep raw. This is cool. I treat my vegetables the same way as I treat my meat. If I'm grilling my meat, I'll grill my vegetables. If it's salt and pepper, it's salt and pepper. So everything's kind of like taken care of, except for our dressing. If you've ever had like Vietnamese nuoc cham, it's like a fish sauce, sort of sweet, salty, garlicky, chili mixture. This is a similar version of that, except it's mostly lime juice and jalapeno and garlic. I'm gonna take a jalapeno, we're gonna grate it. I like how green the sauce gets, and the finely grated vibe here really breaks up the like capsaicin. Whew, I'm like already feeling it. Garlic. I'm gonna start with 3 cloves. And then last but not least, for our microplane, we're gonna grate some lime zest. So we're just gonna start with 2. Without realizing it, I am matching everything I just did. And then we're gonna juice. We're going for about a half a cup of lime juice here, which could be anywhere from 4 to 8 limes. Limes are notoriously inconsistent. And sometimes you're like, I got a teaspoon out of 8 limes. I do have a juicer, but I'm not plugging it in to use it. Don't ask. Oh, could it be? Did I make pot of rice? It's pretty good. And then I'm gonna keep it covered again. Off the heat. I may have made a pot of rice. All right, in with our stuff. Let me grab the fish sauce. I'm gonna add about a teaspoon and then see if I want more. Ooh, that is spicy. Really good, but spicy. I'm gonna add a little bit of salt, which has a different type of salt than fish sauce. I'm also gonna add a little bit more fish sauce. Let's call it 2 teaspoons all day. That is so good. I'm just gonna add the tiniest bit of honey. Okay. This is so punchy with garlic and chili and fish sauce and acidic with lime that I think it can handle just like a bit of balance. It's so good. Wow, delicious. All right, should we go outside? I think we need to light our grill. There we go. Basically what I'm doing is I'm creating like an oven in here. Half of the grill, pretty hot coals, and leaving the other half blank so that I can like start the chicken sort of lower and slower. It's not always about just like blasting your meat and vegetables with like high heat over a fire. Like, you know, it's sometimes about smoke and time and smoke and time.
B-roll.
My coals are red f***ing hot, so I'm just gonna put them on the left-hand side of this grill. All right, I'm gonna let these grates get pretty hot. I'm gonna add my chicken to, again, this side, which is not the hot side. I'm gonna put some olive oil on my chicken. I'm adding the chicken cut side down, thigh side out, closer to the heat. The reason I do thigh side out is just because the thigh takes longer to cook. I am gonna cover the chicken for the first 10-15 minutes. By covering it now, we're basically creating an oven, which helps roast the chicken from all sides while getting color on the bottom, but also the heat inside that grill is going to help already start browning the top. All right. So for this, we'll eat it with some cucumbers, some lettuces. These scallions are a little dirty, but that doesn't bother me at all. Some of the earth, you know? Scallions for something like this are quite nice, like just big, chunky pieces. I'll maybe like cut the bulb in half. But it's like the kind of thing that you wanna snack on between bites of grilled chicken. Got some cucumbers. Top 5 favorite vegetable. I'm ready to stand up. Cute little herbs. These you could just leave very spriggy. Some of this basil. And then if you have any lettuces lying around. Oh, beautiful, beautiful sound. It's time to check on my chicken. Ready? Okay. Wow, is right. So our chicken is already pretty brown. A lot of that's from the smoke. Our fire will have lost a little bit of heat from being closed, even though I did keep the grill vents open. But that's a good thing because it was like ripping hot when I put them in at first. And you'll see when I go to flip them, it's like pretty nicely brown on that side, but that's not where we're trying to get that much color. We're trying to get more color skin side. The nice thing about this now also is that the chicken is pretty cooked through. It's much easier to handle and flip over. And I'm gonna leave this open. Already the coals are much hotter than they were when I took the lid off. They will sort of resuscitate themselves. So don't worry if you take the lid off and you're like, oh, my fire died, it'll come back. Those coals are still hot. They just need more oxygen to get red again. If you ever want, you can give them a little of that. It will glow. You know what I might do? Switch the chicken around so that it is actually over the coals for this part, because we've done the low and slow cook and now we're gonna crisp up the skin. That's what we're gonna do. That's the ticket. And because our coals are actually pretty much on their way to being where I want them, I'm gonna start adding the vegetables. A lot of grilling is moving things around to accommodate the fire, to make sure that you're paying attention to what's hot, what's not, what's dying, what's living, hot spots, cold spots. It is sort of an active endeavor. That skin is very crispy, I'll just say. One thing about me, I'm always cooking cabbage. A few weeks ago, my dad and brother were here and I really wanted to grill for them. So I was like, I'll make grilled chicken. And in the middle of it, it just started absolutely pouring rain. And my dad's like, I'll move the grill under the awning. And I was like, Dad, don't, it's full of hot coals. He's like, no, I got it. And I was like, I'll just grill in the rain. And it was honestly a nightmare. Don't be a hero, you know? All right, so get your platter. Your chicken is cooked, it's done. We're good, we're done here. She's beauty, she's grace, she's golden. She's perfect, I love her. I am gonna sauce this chicken on the bottom. As the chicken rests, it'll continue to give off some juices, and those juices will mingle with this sort of vinaigrette. That's f***ed up good. That was really good. Okay. Obviously, if you were inside, you would carve this inside, but I'm just gonna kind of tackle this out here. I like to do this very rogue style. Give you a little bit of bone. Also delicious here, actually dill, some mint, parsley. Great, we can eat this now.
Wait, I'm gonna eat y'all.
This is a chicken for friends. This is like a chicken that you need to feel comfortable with, like eating with your hands, dipping into the sauce, going back for seconds. Like this isn't like a polite company situation. Although I can't remember anything that I've ever done that felt like it was like for polite company, so.
You like legs?
You can't have it.
Oh my god, they're gonna love it.
You can see how this is like a communal eating experience. This rice turned out really well. Again, thank you to my mentors. Without you, I simply would have never learned how to make pot rice. Golden brown chicken with this sauce spooned over it and lots of herbs is like kind of perfect. Oh, I love this chicken.